Guys, it's Dave from Military to Millionaire. If the government shutdown has you worried you're a socialist, today we're going to talk about why this is and how you can change it. Stay tuned. Now that I have your attention, I'd like to explain why I'm saying this. So Google defines socialism as a political and economic theory of social organization, which advocates that the means of production, distribution, and exchange should be owned or regulated by the community as a whole. Now, there were several synonyms listed in Google, but the one that stands out is welfarism. What I mean by this big flashy word is this: socialism and communism and a lot of these other government styles that often have a negative connotation, they imply that you as a human, all people, rely on the government for support, right? So welfarism and stuff like that. Let's set the record straight, guys. I'm not talking about your political views and your feelings and your emotions and all that gut-wrenching nastiness that came up when you saw the title of this video. What I'm talking about is your actions. And you can sit here and tell me all day, I'm not a socialist, I'm not a communist, I'm not this, I'm not that, I'm not the other. But the problem is that you're not acting accordingly. Now, here's why I say that. In 2013, the government shut down for 17 days. Between October 1st and October 17th, we went through basically the same thing for different reasons that we're going through right now. And I can still remember as a young Marine sitting and getting all these briefs about not having a paycheck, not getting this, not getting that. And then of course, banks come out and they say, we'll give you a zero interest loan. We'll give you a pay advance. We'll give you XYZ to foot the difference and cover the gap. And that's all well and good, and those are great. Like, I am not hating on those organizations, but here's the fundamental problem. It happened in 2013. All of us got scared that we weren't getting paid, we didn't have money to survive, and we didn't know where our next meal was going to come from. That was 5.25 years ago. And we are still not sure how to make ends meet without a paycheck? You can't honestly sit here and tell me that you are not communist, socialist, or any of this other stuff in the least, and all those words that get you all riled up, if you are not able to feed yourself for 2 weeks without a paycheck from the government. Now, I'm not saying that the government is okay to not pay you, right? Like, you should expect a paycheck for your job, and that's right. But if you can't survive without that paycheck, that means you're dependent on the government. What is socialism? What is communism? What are all these kinds of dependent governments? Oh, that's right, relying on the government. So on some small scale, because you cannot afford to survive without them, you are in fact, by definition, living a socialism or communism related dream. Now, if this offends you, then here's what you need to do to fix it. You need to set up an emergency fund. So over the next few months, I expect that all of you who are up in arms about this video will save at least a couple $100 a month until you get to where you can cover your expenses for 6 months. Not 6 weeks, not 6 days, 6 months. You need to be able to protect your rear when something goes wrong. Because guess what? You could end your career in the military. You could get fired from your job. TSA could shut down again. The government could shut down again. Who knows what the future holds? The only person who can prepare for the future and ensure that they don't end up in a predicament like this where they go, oh crap, I'm not getting paid, now what? Is you. Look in the mirror. Take responsibility. This is one of those, it sucks to say it, but guess what? The government shutdown is not your fault. But it is your responsibility to buffer against this happening again in the future. There is literally nobody to blame for you not having a fund than you. And you can say, oh, well, I had this situation. Great, you should have had an emergency fund. Oh, I had this other great situation. Like, I get it. Crappy stuff happens. It's on you. Cut your expenses. Suck it up for a little bit, avoid the Jordans, avoid the iPhone, avoid whatever the cool stuff is, save an emergency fund, and take care of your future. Now, living paycheck to paycheck is avoidable. It is 100% self-inflicted that we do not have this money saved. You need to look internal, you need to look in the mirror, and you need to put your big boy pants on, big girl pants on, and admit that you didn't do as much as you could have to prepare for the what-ifs in life. So let me spin this in a really scary way. Forget the government shutdown, forget all of that stuff. If you don't have enough money in your account to survive 1 month without pay, how the hell do you ever intend to be able to retire, travel, spoil your grandkids, pay for your kids' college, buy that boat you've always wanted, or just live your life? I don't care how old or how young you are, if you don't figure this out now, 40 years from now, somebody like me, or not necessarily me, but somebody who did pay attention to their finances is going to be getting asked to be taxed more to cover you for not planning this out. And what's that? Oh, that's right. welfarism, socialism, communism. Not my problem. Please don't make it my problem. Look, take care of your own freaking self, put your big boy, big girl pants on, save some money, and be financially responsible. In the civilian world, people get laid off or fired all the time and they don't have pay. And if they don't have that reserve account, then they're going to go hungry and they're going to have to ask for money and they're going to take out loans. And that's not cool. So we live this wonderful life where we get a paycheck, it's guaranteed, 1st and 15th, and all these great benefits. And so because we have all these awesome benefits and this great job, we just throw responsibility out the window and say, screw it, I'll live paycheck to paycheck, I don't need that money. No, wrong. Be smart about it, because guess what? Sooner or later you're going to get out of the military. You're setting yourself up for huge mistakes and just failure. Let me reiterate this again. We are so comfortable with our guaranteed paycheck that even though the government has shut down before, more than once, within our lifetime, actually pretty recently, we don't have enough of a buffer to survive when it happens. Just plan that out. You take care of your life in every other way, but you should probably focus on your finances too. Now, a couple of final notes here. Am I saying that the government shutdown is good? No. Am I saying that you shouldn't worry about other implications of the shutdown or feeding your families? No. Am I saying that you need to take absolute control of your financial situation and ensure that you are always prepared for the absolute worst? Yes, absolutely. That is exactly what I'm saying. Take responsibility, take that extreme ownership, set a barrier and say, I need this much money, and this is always going to be my buffer between the what ifs and the oh shit moments. Like, it's on you. It's 100% on you. You need to practice extreme ownership in every aspect of your life. That means taking control of your finances, cutting expenses, saving some money. I put $500 a month into a travel/emergency fund every month, no matter what. Maybe once I get to like 10 grand in that fund, I won't worry about it so much because that'll float me for a little while. But for right now, I put $500 a month in there. And it's great because I decided to travel this week. Guess what? Covered. Government shutdown. Guess what? Not worried. Granted, the military hasn't shut down yet, but I'm not worried. If it does, oh no, I've got money. And I'm not saying that to brag. I'm saying that to just show you I practice what I preach. You need an emergency fund, and that's the bottom line. Look, guys, I want to just reiterate one last time. This is not intended to be a political battle. I don't want to be used as some political pundit. Like, this is not the point of this. The point of this is that your finances are in your hands, and you cannot freak out because of an external force and say that you also have control of your finances. This is one or the other. You'll notice that a lot of the people who are voicing their opinions on the government shutdown that are financially stable aren't voicing it about the money. They're voicing it about political implications and things like that. And I got that. But the people who are really genuinely worried about where their next meal is going to come from, sorry, not sorry. I mean, take responsibility. It's not a fun situation. It's not easy. I'm an asshole for saying it, right? I'm the big bad guy here. I'm the jerk. But it's true, and you need to hear it. Not your fault. Your responsibility. Take responsibility. Take ownership, and ensure it never happens again. That's it, guys. Hey, if you liked hearing some brutal truth, click the subscribe button. Hound my buddy Alex Felice because it was his video or his idea to have this video. I'd really appreciate some feedback. Go ahead and let the war commence in the comments. Let's hear it.